We have seen many different celebrations and acknowledgments of hip-hop's 50th year, but in truth, there is only one official celebration for hip-hop's 50th year, and it's at the birthplace of hip-hop itself, 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. If you truly love hip-hop, it's time to come home. On August 12th, 2023, join us for the Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival. On August 12th, 2023, we will close down Sedgwick Avenue and set up the ultimate hip-hop stage right in front of 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. This is where it's all going down. Real MCs, real DJs, real B-boys and B-girls, real graffiti writers, and real beatboxers. This is the place to be. The Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival is only getting bigger. Yo, what up, y'all? It's the Blastmaster KRS-ONE, and I'm here at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. This is the birthplace of hip hop, y'all. And what we're trying to do is preserve this space. For the 50th anniversary of hip hop, we're looking to raise $350,000 to preserve and restore the birthplace of hip hop. We need your assistance. First, we are putting an exhibit into the 1520 Sedgwick Avenue Community Center. The 1520 Community Center in the Bronx is technically known as the birthplace of hip hop. This is where cool DJ Herc first brought his equipment out and started playing the musical breaks of certain funk and soul records. The rest is history. For hip hop's 50th anniversary, we want to preserve this place, preserve it as a historical landmark, and we want to invite you to be part of that legacy. We are launching an Indiegogo campaign to raise $350,000 to put an exhibit into the 1520 Sedgwick Avenue Community Center. Along with art, this exhibit will also have an educational component, and we plan on making it accessible to people all around the world through a virtual experience. Also, the money raised in our Indiegogo will go to the restoration of this historic building itself. Now, I'm doing this on Indiegogo. Indiegogo, if you don't know, is a place where you can donate toward causes and projects and so on. Those that donate to the project or invest in the idea, they get perks that you can't get nowhere else. Gifts and little opportunities that you can't get nowhere else. Now, you know we are authentic hip hop over here. So the gifts we have for you, I can't give them all away here. You got to click below so you can be the first to know what we're offering. Again, we are preserving 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx, the community center itself, as well as the restoration of the building. We're looking to raise $350,000 with your help to do this. You don't want to miss out on this. So become a part of hip-hop's real legacy by preserving its past for future generations. I thank you for your support. August 12th, 2023, make sure you're in front of 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. Real MCs, breakers, DJs, graffiti writers, shout out to the Tax crew. We're going to be doing everything that is involved with hip hop right there.
The price of admission is free.
And let us say that one more time, free. Make sure you there, hip hop.
Peace and much love, and welcome to the Temple of Hip Hop. I am Minister Sun One. The Temple of Hip Hop is a hip hop preservation ministry, archive, school, and society. We believe that the best way to preserve hip hop is to preserve you, the hip hop. We are here at 55 Ludlow, Newark, New Jersey, at the Temple of Hip Hop. We are currently doing renovations on the Temple of Hip Hop, and today specifically, we're actually holding our first event sponsored by BET1, Time Journey. And we're having a barbecue today. It's been a magnificent time so far. We got DJ Tony Tone in the building. We've had DJing all day, food for the people, everybody from the community coming in and getting down. It's been a wonderful time. We got everybody out here from the community. Everything's chilling. We're here. We're officially open. It's going down. It just makes sense for the Temple of Hip Hop to be in a community like this. Already there are different programs within the Temple of Hip Hop that already existed here in this building and will continue to exist in order to help the community that we're having. As you can hear, the party is still jumping up in there. And we're gonna continue this a little bit later, but let's go ahead and let's go see what the teacher's doing out in the back.
I got dozens of these books. I just brought 2 of them here.
Let's go see what's happening over here real quick.
Yes, sir. This is our office.
Okay.
Wow. Yes.
This is you?
Yeah, it's one of the tracks I'm working on. All right. Peace, Uncle Mook. I'm in South North New Jersey. Mook 1. Definitely a product of the Temple of Hip Hop. It raised me. So I'm gonna give y'all some exclusive. Check me out, Minister. You ready?
Come on.
Yeah. Well, it's me. Got taught I'm off the porch of fleet. A different breed of potency. With a knuckle game at 3, highly recruited. In different zones and bros, I get saluted. This that big weight parlay state rank. I'm polluted, not to be included with lames. Drama dames are nothing. Untrust us. These bitch ass niggas, snitches and busters. I'm more than clutch. They asking questions, who's and what. Do we really get big? And these chicks, they be like, I always led the pack, and that's the fact. I'm to the point. A hill for the rags, considered trash. Call me the ointment. Was born in the trench, got scars, climbing over bars. Spars, been giving sauce since the days of crisscross. I come with ammo, loaded. On any track I drove, it gets exploded. We're searching for my sound like it was stolen. I'm scolded, flesh melting heat, sheets get spoken. 24 hours giving service, got them all open. Movement back, damaging shit when I invent. Your doors, hammers are lit with this lightning in my wrist. What I've been given, they can't get enough of me to shut up. That's right. Paved, concrete made, don't fuck with ducks. Hero through sports, and I fought. Was like the Duke that once you come from the south, stomping about doing this music. Big up the Ace, Chronic Face, and Coleon. That's right. Taji, Terror High, Simone, and all my bros. This is who when I give it, make it drizzle if I will it. Make some millions if you billion. What your ranges on the trillion. Trust out me if you willing, there will be no mercy killers. In fact, this track being detached is so fulfilling. My scrolls is through the ceiling, I'm something hectic, respected, Hannibal Lecter, eating niggas up, be my fetish. So sick, blood levels and shit like diabetics. Statistical analyst, a former biometric.
Oh no, that's it, let's go. We'll be back for you. It gets live in the Temple of Hip Hop. You gotta understand it.
It is all good. So I was just reading this piece real quick, and it was dope. I don't even know, sometimes, you don't even plan for these things. You just be reading and you pop your gospel open and it just jumps out at you. I had two things. I actually had one thing I was going to get into today, but I have to read this piece that just popped out real quick. Go ahead and get the camera right. People listening to us, the camera gonna shake a little bit because we're doing this live, and this is how you get down when it's live. Son One and Joey are actually filming this. I think Joey just gave it now to Son One, and Son One is getting our thing here together. If he didn't already say, welcome to the Temple of Hip Hop. Of course, I am KRS-ONE, and we are at the Temple of Hip Hop right now. Beautiful building. I love coming here. This is our place. This is the spot. This is where it goes down. This is 55 Ludlow Street in Newark, New Jersey. And this is where we're going to transform the community. This is our satellite to transform first the Newark community. Shout out to the whole Newark, New Jersey. Right now we're doing a barbecue picnic, just a get together, free food, water, drink, you know what it is. Let the people come out. We want to do this more regularly as well. We want to do this, more often and regularly for the people in the community, because that's why we're here. That's the point. The point is, by the way, you know what it is. Let me run the story down. So this is the Trek Center, or it was the Trek Center, which is Training, Recreation, and Educational Center. It was already here in the Weekway section of Newark, New Jersey, 9th Ward. We're here in Newark, New Jersey. So the idea was to set up a central location for hip hop for the world. Any city that can see this vision can also see the benefit in having a temple of hip hop in your city. First of all, hip hop has no central place. It has no international meeting place. Think about that for a minute. We did. Think about the idea of an international culture that everybody all over the world is benefiting from, is imitating, adapting, adopting, embellishing on, further creating. Hip hop is in the world. But hip hop, has no central location that says this is where hip hop is officially. Of course, there are places that hip hop is. There's a bunch of places, and I perform at a lot of them. I even spoke at some of them, got awards and degrees all over the world of certain places. People have already opened up spaces for hip hop, opened up places that are dedicated to hip hop, including some of the museums that are out as well. Shout out to them, all the hip hop museums that are out. These are also sacred places and international meeting grounds for hip hop. But what we're talking about here is an official, independent hip hop meeting space. That's what we're focused on. At 1520, we're focused on hip hop as a sacred space. That's the sacred space over there. You come there, you feel the vibe. You may even take your first hip hop teachers course or hip hop cultural specialist course there. You may want to come through 1520 and check out the exhibit on the wall as well and catch some of the history. That's 1520 as a sacred place. 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx as a sacred place. But here at the Temple of Hip Hop, this is an international meeting ground. We have enough space here to bring the world here and run our courses, workshops, networking opportunities, special lectures. For instance, on the 13th, Sunday, I'm proud to announce that we're going to have Attorney Benjamin Crump here with Dr. James Peterson discussing justice and hip-hop's role in it, hip-hop's role in justice. How could hip-hoppers further the cause for justice? What does justice really look like? And not pointing fingers and blaming people, but actually having a discussion as to how we can be more civil, how we can be more law-abiding, more civil. That's really the word. Civil, law-abiding, understanding what law is, and abiding by it. Our own laws, our own ordinances, our own standards that we're going to set for ourselves. We're discussing that. You can't have no justice without law. And so we're inviting attorney Benjamin Crump and others to come and have a discussion with us right here at the Temple of Hip Hop. Right here at the Temple of Hip Hop, 55 Ludlow Street, Newark, New Jersey. So I mention that because, well, not only do I want you to know that that's happening, but my point is that these are the types of discussions we like to have right here in Newark, New Jersey. Most of our courses, really all of our courses, no, I can't say all, most of our courses, like 60% of our courses are tuition-based. They are tuition-based. 40% of our courses are free to the public. Some of those are also online, but Newark residents get in for free for all of the courses, the teaching courses, the education courses. If you're in Newark, make sure you have a pass. You get a city pass from the city, actually, and you could come right in the Temple of Hip Hop. You got to register because we only have a limited class space in that regard, but you can get in here. Oh, no doubt. There's no excuses, especially for the Newark residents. Most of 99% of what the Temple of Hip Hop will be teaching is free to Newark. Everyone else, we're asking that you support us, participate, become a tuition-paying student of the Temple of Hip Hop, become an apprentice. Our courses are the best in the world, and they actually lead to real job placement, or should I say work placement. You don't just study this stuff and then sit with it. You study this stuff and you study it amongst others who are making stuff happen. We entrepreneurs here. We teach everything about hip hop, how to run your life in hip hop as culture, philosophy, principles, spirituality, all of that. But we also teach contracts, riders, performance riders, scheduling, logistics, hotels, how to get in and out of a building, how to move an artist. These are skills that are going to be very important in the future coming up. They used to be shut out of the public because there was no school that actually taught this type of thing. You had to know somebody who knew somebody. But right now, what we're doing with the Temple of Hip Hop is we're taking our community, the whole hip hop community, and those that want to learn these certain skills, there's no more excuses. We doing it right here. We're doing it right here. So for the people of Newark, most of these courses are free. For everybody else, it's tuition-based. You come through and you learn and get what it is. And you're also supporting Newark as well. Those who are paying that for their courses, tuition-based courses or apprenticeships, you know you're helping the next student in Newark come in as well. We got to pay our teachers, and we want to pay our teachers well. You know, Newark as a city pays its teachers $62,000 a year. The average teacher gets $42,000. Think about that. Newark is paying $62,000 to start, and it goes up higher than that. Shout out to Newark. So we want to try to stay within that framework as well. Pay even $10,000 more, $75,000 a year. We got to build something. We got to build our educational network in order for that to happen. So this is what we want to do, and this is what we're doing here at the Temple of Hip Hop. I got the Gospel of Hip Hop in front of me. Those that if you have your gospel, I told you that there was a quick thing I wanted to read first. It jumped out at me and I was like, wow, really? You're gonna do this to me right now? But today we're gonna talk a little bit about activism and being an activist, what it means to be an activist, a hip hop activist, and what it means to win. What it means to win. You know, a lot of times we fight and struggle and protest. And when we win whatever it is we were protesting against or whatever, we wind up, well, we just continue fighting. We never take a moment to stop for our winnings, to collect our winnings. We just keep fighting. And so what we want to point out here today What we want to point out here today is that when you've won, you got to collect your winnings. You can't just keep fighting, and you got to know when you've won. Most people, they don't even know when they fought for so long, they argued for so long, that when they finally get what they're supposed to get, they still argue. They're still fighting. I just want to make sure we understand, especially as I sit at the Temple of Hip Hop. I know some of y'all probably don't remember this. I hope you do. But some of y'all will remember when we was in a basement in Atlanta in a house. Y'all don't remember that. And we put the vision forward because, like I said, we're teaching in real time. You're seeing the results of our teaching on us. If you can't see it on us, then what are we teaching? Well, here we are at the Temple of Hip Hop. Wow. Wow. Here we are. And we're going further than this because we don't want you to get caught up in the edifice. Don't get caught up in the edifice. The Temple of Hip Hop is not a physical place, remember? This is the result of our mind. This is the result of our vision. This is the result of a long-standing prophecy that even Cool DJ Herc laid down back in 1994. He said, where is hip hop? Where is the place that is hip hop? Well, it's right here. It's the Temple of Hip Hop now, some 20 some 30, almost 30 years later. It's here now. It's here now. So I just want to read you this piece real quick. Go to page 316. We're reading from the Seasons. Page 316, paragraph 11. This is so real. This is so real. And we highlighted. I'm sorry, it's page 10 and 11. Go over to 315. Go over to 315 so I can start you on 315. This is the clothing. We're talking about the handmade clothing of God. And I was looking at this, I just opened the book quickly. And what I was thinking about was getting through the storms, getting through the hard times. Sometimes you're waiting on something, it ain't coming. We under pressure right now. Sponsors are talking, they ain't sending the money yet. We got things we gotta buy. We got this whole thing for August 11th, 12th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. We got sponsors on hold, we got banks, we got money coming in, money going out. Artists are looking. This is what it is. So I just looked at it, I said, how do you get through some of the storms in life? How do you get through? I was getting ready to preach on that. It bounced out. Here it is, paragraph 13. Paragraph 10, page 315. With difficult people and circumstances, be still. Damn, this is the strength. Be on good terms with all people. Even if you must be silent in the face of those that disrespect you. Now, I'm not going to bring up the disrespect. I'm not going to bring this up from the past. And, you guys could go back and look at whatever you want to look at in the past. But like I know, that everybody who teaches online or something like this, even you in your personal life, there was always somebody there dissing you. Somebody there that didn't believe in what you were saying. Somebody there holding you back, finding criticism, quick to find the criticism, slow to come with the praise. Somebody always like that, right? But you got past it. And I want you to remember that because you're probably smirking right now while you're listening to this. You got past it. They criticized, they ridiculed, they tried to stagnate you, but none of it worked. I laugh because it's in the past for me as well. KRS ain't shit. He's that. Boo, boo, boo. With difficult people and circumstances, be still. Be on good terms with all people. Even if you must be silent in the face of those that disrespect you. This is a golden jewel for those that may be persecuted right now. Be still. And silence is your best weapon. Develop the habit of not saying things that you may regret later when the storm of hostility and or depression has passed. Be silent. Be still. Even with all forms of temptation, this is a side jewel. With all forms of temptation, be silent, be still. Allow the storms of those tempting desires to pass over you. Come on, Easter, pass over you. Do nothing when tempted. Do nothing. This is a stop the violence message as well. People get you riled up, get angered. Try to remember this consciousness when you get right there. Do nothing. Recoil yourself. Be silent. Get in the habit. That's what the word says. The habit, okay? It says develop the habit of not saying things that you may regret later when the storm of hostility and or depression has passed. These are disciplines that'll get you through the storms of life. Here's paragraph 11. But know this, only those who wear the handmade clothing of God, and this is what I saw, the handmade clothing of God. Here's the handmade clothing. And each one of these could be a year out of your life trying to figure this one out. Each one of these. Purpose. Just that alone, okay? This is a handmade cloth of God is purpose. Do you know why you're here? Do you ever ask yourself, who am I and why am I here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? I think about that for a minute. If you never get a chance to think about it, these are some of the most important questions in life itself to ask yourself. How do I really want to live? Really? Not how am I living and how am I going to get over with how I'm living and how am I... No. If you could plan your life any way you want it, how would you do it? If you could be anywhere, if you could be anyone, if you could be anyone, who would you be? If you could be anywhere, where would you go? If you could eat anything, what would it be? Have you really asked yourself? Because that's what this meditation is all about, asking those serious questions unto yourself. Because if you can answer these foundational questions within yourself, it's easy to answer all the other questions. You can't be tempted. If I say, I'm an MC, somebody say, who are you? I'm an MC, E-M-C-E-E. Are you a doctor? No, I'm not a doctor. No, I'm not a construction worker. No, I'm not a taxi cab driver. No, I'm an MC. Now, once I made that foundational decision in myself, there is nothing else that's going to tempt me. Only MC is tempting me. And I can get beat up and scratched and beat down in this thing only. I can be tempted here. I can be ridiculed and criticized and whatever you want to do. It can all happen right here, but it can't happen nowhere else. This is life guidance. I decided I am this. I decided that the 10 Commandments is going to be my shining move forward. Just the 10. We can't even get to the 42 that the 10 come from. We're not even going to hit you with that. Just 10. The 10 Commandments. And if you can't even deal with the 10, cut it in half. Take small bites. 5 of the 10. Pick any 5 of the 10 Commandments that you can relate to. It'll transform your life if you live like that. It's simple. Thou shalt not kill. Well, that's leading right to vegetarianism now, isn't it? That's leading right to a respect for all life now, isn't it? Plant life, all life, insect life. You're not killing insects, are you? You're not stepping on them, are you? Thou shalt not kill. You're an environmentalist. You don't want to see the earth dead. You don't want to see trees cut down. You don't want to see animals experimented on or shot for game. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not lie. So you're not a politician. No, I'm not going to say that. So it's at the end of the day, you're not going to take a gig, okay, that demands that you tell lies. And notice how many gigs are out there that demand that you lie to them, and not lie, that you act or that you deceive slightly, like in advertising or, even public speaking. A spokesperson on behalf of has to bend truth and form it in a way that you can understand, and you're deceiving people. Why can't you just say what it is? But imagine if you could live a life where you could just say what it is. I don't have to deceive. I don't have to lie. I don't have to make up a story. I don't have to try to be something I'm not. I don't have to do all of that. Imagine living a life clean and free, where you could really just be yourself. That's what thou shalt not bear false witness really means. It's not just about lying or saying you saw something that you didn't see. It's also about your own character. Your own character. Let me go through this. So the handmade clothing of God, purpose. Once you have purpose, you can't smoke a crack pipe. Once you have purpose, you can't rob the liquor store. Because you're like, I got something to do, man. I'm not doing that. I'm on purpose. I don't have time to hang out in front of the bodega. I'm on purpose. Now, if you ain't got no purpose, go hang out in front of the bodega. Go hang out in the park. Do what you got to do. Enjoy your life. But those of us with purpose, you notice that the purpose is nagging you every day. I'm unfulfilled. I'm unfulfilled. I'm unfulfilled. You got no time to do nothing else but your purpose. That's life guidance. The handmade clothing of God, purpose, mercy. And notice how mercy is a cloak. Like purpose, the handmade clothing of God. How do you know a man or woman of God? They wear the cloak of mercy. You can come to them for forgiveness, especially an honest mistake. Now, this is not somebody trying to beat you over the head and take your wallet. No, even the merciful will put you on your ground mercifully. Okay? No, you're not doing that to them. But a person who is young and stupid, done some stupid stuff or said something stupid, did something out of immaturity or out of ignorance or out of desperation, and now they come to you and say, I know I was wrong. Can you ever forgive me? Can we move on? Are you the type to sit? No, because I can't get back what you stole. You killed somebody. Now, of course, that judgment is always up to you. But the handmade clothing of God is mercy. Mercy, forgiveness, reconciliation. And not just those things. Homeless person in the street, Lord, have mercy. A person trying to get ahead in life, they not broke, they not nothing. A new college student, fresh degree, I just need a shot. Lord, have mercy. Peace, charity, love. I mean, I'm just running through it, okay? Each one of these will take you a year out of your life to really understand. Love, overstanding, truth, discipline, inspiration, wisdom, gratefulness. Grateful. This is a huge one. Gratefulness. Self-sacrifice, and etc. The gospel says, etc. Like this is just the beginning. This is the cloak. Probably there's a pair of pants and underwear to go with this too. It's probably a hat, a handmade hat of God. Who knows? But this is the cloak you're wearing. This is the character. This is what you're exuding. This is what people know they can come to you for and know that this is what you are about. And stand still in the midst of life's storms, changes, temptations. These are the designer labels of our everlasting God, for only divine clothing can withstand the various storms of life. That's the piece I wanted to read. It hit me, so I'm hitting you. And it was these words that I really put a meditation on. I said, each one of these words is really a whole lifetime. Really, like each one of these words is a lifetime. I even say study it for a year. Really study peace and how to live this way. Really study charity. What does it mean to give? True love. What is love? How is love? Where is love? Love, real love, overstanding. These things, what is truth? What is discipline? Well, we was talking about discipline from the point of view of be still. You don't have to resist anything. Just stop moving. Can you stop moving? Can you stop grabbing? This is difficult. These things are hard. They're not easy. Don't take my words, lightly, like I'm telling you something that can be done in over a weekend. No, it can't. But if you don't look in this direction, you never reach excellence. You never reach perfection. You never reach the handmade clothing of God if you're not able to wear it. So wearing the handmade clothing of God is what puts the handmade clothing of God on you. Being charitable puts the charitable cloak on you. Being of love and of truth and of discipline puts these cloaks on you. And they are protective. So turn your gospel now to page 544. We're reading from the Activist, and I just want to breeze through this real quick at the Temple of Hip Hop, 55 Ludlow Street, Newark, New Jersey, because we are in victory and glory right now. Victory and glory. Right now, as we speak to you, we are feeding the neighborhood. That's no way else to put it. We're feeding the neighborhood. The kids are out. Elderly is out. A little music is playing. We're not going over the top. We're just doing something small, and we're going to escalate it over the weeks. So this is one of our little deals right here we're doing. And this was a vision that we had back in the days, even if those can remember, even before Atlanta, when we had storefronts and we would also just meet anywhere we could. Record shops we would meet at. After the show, we would have a seminar, maybe in the hotel conference room. You guys remember, but it was always the vision that the Temple of Hip Hop would one day stand as a physical building. We said the Temple of Hip Hop is a society. It's a ministry, archive, school society. So not only do we have this building, we're looking to open others all across the country and all across the world. Who knows how long we'll be here? And I mean that. I would love to be here for a long, long time, but we're not attached to the gifts that God gives us. Whenever God sees that we are ready to go from here, we go from here. I hope to do good work in Newark, New Jersey while we're here. I hope us to be here permanently. This is the first temple, I will say that. This is temple number 1, straight up and down, Newark, New Jersey. But of course, the neighborhood and Newark itself, the elected officials as well, investors, you all got to support too. Everybody has to support. This is a community effort, and so the community has to support. And hopefully the Temple of Hip Hop will be that catalyst, that thing that brings different people who may not have spoken to each other even, bring us all together. Because what's the point? Peace, love, unity, and safely having fun. So if you are an activist like we are, hip hop activists, those who act on behalf of hip hop, if you are that, well, first of all, if you're that, you're going to be at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx on August 12, 2023. The party starts at about 1 o'clock and it don't stop till about 9 o'clock. We got all types of artists coming through, and not just randomly. Some artists I had to turn away, sorry. Some artists ain't even in town, sorry. But the artists that we did pick will tell a story about hip hop. Over the 50 years, you'll see what it really is. And it's not just, top selling rappers I'm talking about. This is hip hop. You're talking to the Temple of Hip Hop. So we're dealing with hip hop. What does that mean? Breaking, okay, is on that stage, and in ciphers. New York City Breakers, Rocksteady Crew, Dynamic Breakers. Shout out to the LA Breakers as well, and others that are coming, that can come through. But shout out to Popmaster Fables and the Rocksteady Crew. I see you, Wiggles, as well, and Spider, and all these dudes from Dynamic Breakers. They're treated with the same respect, given the same stage time as CL Smooth or EPMD or, any of the other artists that are coming up, Bone Crusher, and others. It's going to be a knockdown party, and it's going to run really quickly. So we got breakers, we got MCs, we got graffiti writers. Shout out to the Tats crew. Shout out to Mare. Shout out to Daz, or Days, I should say. Well, both. Shout out to Days, I would say, D-A-Z-E, Days. Shout out to, it just made me think about Desi Dez, K Slay. Of course, he's going to be there in spirit. But no, push that to the side. I just veered off for a minute. Breaking up, seeing graffiti art, DJing. Just saw my man Hollywood yesterday in Crotona Park, a couple of days ago, I guess now, in Crotona Park. And it was wonderful. Seeing him, I was there with Kaz. The Cold Crush brothers, AD, said that I should add the Cold Crush, not just Grandmaster Kaz. Although Kaz has his own show, the Cold Crush want to come through and do their thing as the Cold Crush. Just dealt with that yesterday. Grandmaster Flash is in the house. Kid Capri will be in the house. In fact, Kid Capri is launching the whole thing for us. So he'll be there at 1 o'clock and he'll launch it off, kick it off. And then we'll go from there. We got local talent, local Bronx talent will get a chance to shine as well. Some of the MCs from 1520 Sedgwick, some of the DJs also from the neighborhood, they get a chance to shine as well. We got 9 hours. And it's one after the other with little breaks in between for elected officials. We'll do our sponsor shout out, maybe a radio station, but it's hammering you. Just every 5 minutes, some classic song that you remember that really shaped what the culture was gonna sound like. Not every song shaped the culture. Not every song shapes culture. Certain songs shape culture. Certain songs are big hit, right? Like, hey, oh, Naughty by Nature, that shaped the culture. My song, South Bronx, it shaped the culture. Public Enemy, Don't Believe the Hype. I mean, there's a bunch of songs they got that shaped the culture, but in particular, Don't Believe the Hype. That was a message direct to the culture. Like certain Latifah's UNITY, direct to the culture. We're discussing ourselves amongst ourselves. These are the type of songs these are the type of artists and songs we're going to be exemplifying August 12th, 2023. It's called the Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival. Make sure you're there in the Bronx. August 5th, we in Brooklyn real quick though. Shout out to Brooklyn. We're going to break you, okay, Brooklyn? You're about to get your ass kicked. We're going to come into Brooklyn August 5th, rock you like that. I'm back in Crotona Park August 4th with Grandmaster Flash as well. And the next day, August 6th, Queens, we coming for you too. So it's Brooklyn on the 5th, August 5th. It's Queens on August 6th. And then, of course, we jump down to August 11th. There might be a Staten Island show. We're not sure yet, but there is an August 12th. August 11th, of course, we have a streaming situation coming out of 1520 Sedgwick Avenue, a streaming situation. Myself will be performing, obviously Sun One, Hakeem Green. I just talked to Ultramagnetic MCs yesterday, but Ed O.G. Is coming through as well, and a whole host of others. I just can't remember everybody, but it's a streaming situation, so we're going to really be filming at 1520 Sedgwick, getting it in on the 11th, on August, on hip hop's actual birthday. We bring the cake out, we cut that, we wish hip hop a happy birthday. I may run over and see Joe at Yankee Stadium. He asked me to come through. Y'all know what that is. The drama does continue. And so I may go over there and try to make it for Joe's thing as well, 9:30, something like that. But then, of course, the next day is the 12th, and that's when it goes down. And there you have it. The 13th, we end right here at the Temple of Hip Hop, Newark, New Jersey. Like I said, Dr. James Peterson hosting a Hip Hop and Justice Symposium. Hip Hop and Justice. How can hip hop further the torch of justice? We did not forget. Shout out to Terrence Floyd and Razor and everybody holding that movement up. We did not forget. That movement is coming together as well. And the movement speaks for itself. It's the Floyd family saying that we did not forget, bringing all the families, victims of police brutality and misconduct and corruption, together to form a community of support for them, financial support, as well as intellectual and psychological and legal support. Remember, this is an ongoing struggle. Just because people went into the streets and protested and all of that, we appreciate it. But just like my album said, between the protests, okay, right now we're between the protests. The struggle still goes on. Yes, just the other day, I know y'all saw the police officer let the dog loose. Old school racism, old school slavery. It's embedded in the culture, and you can see it. Let the canine loose on our brother and let him bite him up and go through all of that. That's old school too. Look at the symbolism of it. First of all, that's how the colonists came to the shores with attack dogs, eating our little children up, ripping our mothers apart. These attack dogs, they kept that going with slavery. When they were running after you, trying to find you, they use again the attack dog. Again, and here we are now, modern day policing, caught on camera, highway police. There they go, let the dog out. Who let the dogs out? Well, they did, okay? And this is what it is. Look, we gotta wake up. Nobody's pointing no fingers. I'm not even criticizing the police because I tell you the truth, what we did in Chicago a few weeks ago was amazing, amazing what we did in Chicago. We sat down with the chief of police, sat down with the commissioner, sat down with the commander, other police officers on the ground. They need help. They don't know what to do. These kids are bugging, okay? Let's also establish that, okay? Kids are out here wilding. Every time you touch them, there's a lawsuit. You pull your gun out, you know you wrong. So what do? Okay, kid dissing you in your face. Even the traffic laws, I said it with the cops right in front of me. I said, look at us, we can't even follow traffic laws. All day, the police are sitting there watching people break the law all day. And they just say, well, you know what, let me pull him over because, you know, whatever it is. But the whole society is acting lawless. The whole society is not respecting law. And that's not just not black people or white people or any kind of people. Everybody is participating in this mass form of criminality. And hip hop has to reel its own self in and say, we're not going to be part of that criminality anymore. We're going to grow up, we're going to mature, we're going to educate our children, and we're going to protect families and communities. Now, I don't know, but that sounds like policing to me. You see, on the other level, we say we don't want surveillance, yet everybody walking around with a phone. We under surveillance already. So why don't we just put the camera up real quick? Because the camera don't lie either. Let's establish that. Now, no disrespect to the police again, but these cops are lying. I mean, straight up. I mean, there's a whole case on dude lying, and some 20, 30 people had to get let out of prison because he lied about what they did. Imagine 20, 30 people in jail because this dude lied. A police officer lied. So how much is that going on around? Look, the camera don't lie. The camera don't lie. I don't like surveillance any more than anyone else does. But guess what? We're already here. With all these phones going on, you are surveilled 24 hours a day. You're even surveilling yourself with the selfies. You know all this information is going into a mastermind that's probably going to one day, who knows. But anyway, I just say that I mentioned all of this because, you know, we're here at the Temple of Hip Hop. We're also big on civility and creating a crimeless society. That's what hip hop is really all about. But I digress a little bit. I was talking about the cops. I was talking about the tough job that they have and how we're not railing against police or any of that kind of stuff. That's not our point. But when you see the dog unleashed on another brother like that, and you see what that symbolizes and what it means, and we're in 2023, that means y'all still acting like this. We done seen George Floyd, and to bring it back to we did not forget. We did not forget. Look at this. We did not forget. So where is the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act? Still not passed. So we did not forget. And so we got to hold elected officials accountable to that. We got to hold police officers accountable. But guess what? We got to hold ourselves accountable as well, because we did not forget. So sure, it's time to protest. When it's time to protest, it's time to protest. You know I'm always down for a good protest. Oh, yes, it is. But that's not all we can do. You got to put the protest with the voting. Yes, voting. You got to put that protest energy right into voting. You got to take that voting and link that with volunteerism in your neighborhood. What can you do to relieve the pain in your own neighborhood? It's not just about voting. It's about volunteerism as well. People can use your help. Things that don't cost money or give money, like the political system. People can use your help. Join a political party, helping your community. This is what we can do. I'm on page 544 of the Gospel of Hip Hop. We're talking about activism, and we're talking about collecting your winnings, as well as the character of the activist. Let's read this. It's the last 2 pages of the activist overstanding. So I'm on page 544. I'm in paragraph 75. As a final thought, the hip hop activists must be organized. What does this mean? It means first that we must simply be superior to our opposition. You hear that? Superior, to not fight against the opposition, superior to the opposition. We must assess the strengths and weaknesses of our opponents and simply outdo them, outperform them, and outmaneuver them. We must simply be better than those we go up against. This is key and crucial, because going up against somebody is not always a physical protest or going up, and just the opposing view. If somebody else has another view and you have another view, you're going up against their view. Your view, whenever you are going up against an opponent, your view has to be better than theirs. Otherwise, you just arguing for the sake of arguing. You're hoping to win the argument. You're hoping to overcome the challenge. But deep down inside, you know that your request is weak. And if you know to your own heart that your request is weak, it's not gonna work for you, or it'll work by luck. Or somebody it'll be, instead of you being free, you be freed. Somebody would have offered you your victory. Your victory's not your own. It came by luck or some other sympathy. But you did not win your victory. So when you go up against somebody, the way you win the victory is that you prove that you are superior to the opposing view. If you don't think you're superior to the opposing view, keep your mouth shut. And there's many views. Sometimes I have views that I don't think are superior to the other view. It's just the way I would like to see it. It's just the way I would like it to go down. So let me keep my mouth shut until the appropriate time. I can put my view on the table. But if I know I have a better way of doing something, and I know these people over here are inferior to the way in which I'm saying, your view is not, listen, standing in front of the bodega for 24 hours is not a superior view about life and living. Sorry. Now, you may get off on that. It may be part of your tradition. It may be this. But going to college may be a better route. Going to Job Corps may be a better route than standing on the corner. Maybe. So if in fact your views are superior, you got to fight for your view. You got to say your view. And you got to prove that your view is more superior than all these other views. Hip hop is about bitches and hoes. That's an inferior view of our culture. I believe that hip hop is about peace, love, unity, and safely having fun. This is the purpose of breaking, MCing, graffiti, or DJing. We do this to enhance our health, love, awareness, and wealth. That's why we do this. I think that's better. I think health, love, awareness, and wealth is superior to sickness, hatred, ignorance, and poverty. Some don't believe that. Some think that sickness, hatred, ignorance, and poverty is better than health, love, awareness, and wealth. Can you prove that point? Can you prove that health is better than sickness? Can you prove that love is better than hate? Or are you cowering in front of sickness, cowering in front of hate, cowering in front of ignorance, cowering in front of poverty? No, you got to wear the handmade clothing of God. And suddenly, health, love, awareness, and wealth are just the attributes of your purpose, your mercy, your overstanding, and your truth. You see, when these are your regular tone, this is your word, this is your habit. Develop the habit. When this is your regular habit, this is your regular habit. This is what comes. Life guidance. We can't get caught up in this other stuff. We're too busy loving people. We can't get caught up in hate. We're too busy feeding people. We got no time for starvation. Imagine you can never starve if you feed somebody else. I didn't say feed yourself. I said you're never going to starve if you can feed somebody else. Think about that. If you can feed yourself, you can starve the next day because it's just about you. But if you could feed somebody else, obviously, don't you have an abundance for yourself? The one who can feed others is more advanced than the one who can only feed himself. Y'all not listening to me. Do I have to preach this right now? I feel like I'm talking in kindergarten, but some people got to hear it. And some of you already know it. I'm confirming for you what you already know. Others, you got to hear it for the first time. So either way, let's continue the lesson. Second, we must be really willing to win our battles. Failure and or defeat cannot be an option. We must be specific with our challenges and honest about our own weaknesses and strengths. We must get, be, and remain prepared to win. Get, be, and remain prepared to win. Third, the hip-hop activist must spend quality time with the hip-hop community, teaching the core principles, tactics, and beliefs of what we claim to collectively want. Everyone in our community must know and understand what's at stake and their role in the achievement of the goal. There must be one clear and concise goal that everyone understands and is capable of taking part in. We must know what success looks like. Fourth, and this was highlighted too, by the way. Fourth, the hip-hop activist must live and love hip-hop, for it is one's love for one's cause that reveals extraordinary tactics and overwhelming energy. Those who are paid to fight will never defeat those who fight for what they love. These are the core principles of a winning attitude. For if there is no passion to one's fight, there will equally be no strength to one's fight. We must never be afraid to fight for that which we truly love. Again, the hip-hop activist must live and love hip-hop in order to be successful at her protest on behalf of hip-hop. And finally, the hip-hop activist must maintain the ability to recognize her victory. This is my closing piece. Most times a true activist will fight, and against some unjust condition for years, forming a protest habit which prevents that activist from seeing her own victory when it comes. Many times when you protest against an unjust condition, it eventually changes or you gain more insight into what that situation actually is. In any event, if you are only seeking victory or revenge, you will not know when to stop fighting and protesting. Even after you have succeeded in removing the injustice, here you begin to fight against yourself and your own interests, even your own people. At some point, you will either have to accept that you are successful in your protest and move on, or accept that you are unsuccessful in your protest and move on. Either way, at some point, the situation does change, and the true activist must maintain her ability to recognize such changes and adjust her plans accordingly. Now, this is the last part here, and this is highlighted as well. The true hip-hop activist does not protest for the sake of revenge or to look good or to defeat the opponent. The true hip-hop activist protests unjust situations because such situations are unhealthy for everyone. The point is to bring awareness to the opposing party and recognize when the opposing party is making amends or has simply outgrown old ways. So the idea is, while you're criticizing and protesting the opposing view, sometimes what you say, the opposing view adopts and changes. And you got to be able to see the opposing view changing their mode of action or their behavior or whatever. Even if they're not changing it, you got to see what they look like when they change it. You can't keep arguing against what you see. It's never going to change. You got to see what they're supposed to look like when they change. And that is what you argue for. You're better than this. You have more skills than this. We can both rise with this and show it. For when we protest against unjust corporate practices, we should always remember that we are in many ways protesting against real people with real families and real personal concerns of their own. Remember, there is no government. There is only people helping people, or people sabotaging people. That's what it really is. There's no system. Oh, the system is against me. Oh, the system got me down. No, it's not. It's people. And sometimes these people are depressed, angry, afraid, but they hold government positions. Look at this. They're CEO, they're this, they're that, but they're brokenhearted. They have no self-esteem. Little things that you may think, wow, that person doesn't think of themselves. That person's depressed. I mean, take a look, with all due respect, take a look at Robin Williams. He taught us all a great lesson, didn't he? He's a comedian. He's the one who's supposed to make you laugh and get you out of depression. He made us laugh. He is a master comedian. He was called master comedian. Took his own life due to depression. How does a comedian take his life? Okay, this is so you got to know what the real really is. Not just what the TV's showing or what this and that, but what the real really is. And let me say this again. For when we protest against unjust corporate practices, we should always remember that we are in many ways protesting against real people with real families and real personal concerns of their own. This includes the police and the judges and the lawyers and the COs and blah, blah, blah. We must always remember that even though we are protesting an injustice, we must not become unjust and insensitive ourselves. And the first cause of injustice is the inability to feel for the suffering of others. We must never become as insensitive as those who are protesting, as those who we are protesting against. Remember, your enemy is also God's child. Many times our oppression is afraid, many times our opposition is afraid and nervous, even trapped and truly sorry for their deeds, but they must now put on a front for their peers because we have challenged them publicly. I think that's what's going on with the Republican Party and a lot of what we call right-wing politics. I'll say it again, and you'll think of this with them in mind. Many times our opposition is afraid and nervous, even trapped and truly sorry for their deeds, but they must now put on a front for their peers because we have challenged them publicly. Sometimes it is our own anger that makes a simple situation worse. Remember, it is our own loud voices that cause our opposition to get even louder as a form of self-defense. If we approach our opposition with a resolution that works for everyone, most times we can solve some very difficult situations peacefully and swiftly. The idea is to approach unjust conditions with just conditions. The idea is to replace evil, fear, and ignorance with righteousness, good faith, and understanding. The purpose of our protest should be to fix the unjust situation, not seek revenge because of it. It is not wise to approach evil, fear, and ignorance with even more evil, fear, and ignorance. The idea is to advance all parties away from evil, fear, and ignorance because evil, fear, and ignorance don't work for anybody. For it is a fact that those who commit acts of injustice are either trapped by their own unjust conditions or they are ignorant to the effects of their conditions. Either way, yelling, screaming, protesting, or threatening is like doing the same to a sick person in need of medical attention. Most people would not yell and protest against a person who is generally depressed or had contracted a deadly disease, even if the sick person is totally disrespecting them. Most people would overlook the hostility of a sick person and seek to help the sick person get well. Using this example, we can see clearly that those who consciously commit acts of injustice are indeed sick to themselves. And if you dig a little deeper, you may find depression, loneliness, anxiety, stress, and or even ignorance and or basic immaturity at the center of the unjust person or corporation or situation. Dig deeper. Therefore, our protest cannot be about simply achieving a victory that only satisfies our emotional or political hurt. Such victories are indeed temporary. Our protest must be about the upliftment of the entire situation we may find ourselves within, no matter how unjust the situation may be. Protesting against a liquor company or a cigarette company or an insurance company or an oil company while people still use these products daily is a waste of the activist's time. However, teaching people, including the employees of such companies, about the harmful effects of abusing such products is a lot more effective and useful than threatening the corporation itself. Seek the good in people and expect people to respond to good ideas that are beneficial to all. In his book, Why We Can't Wait, the King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., outlines the 10 commandments of nonviolent activism. He writes, quote, meditate daily on the teachings and life of Jesus. That's from the King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He's advising those who are about to go out and get beat with real sticks, hit with real bricks. See, we reading this in a comfortable temple, okay? They getting ready to go get hit with these hoses. Dogs getting, did I say the dog again? Dogs getting ready to get unleashed on them. This is the advice that they had to, this is what they truly had to believe. They had to meditate daily on the teachings and life of Jesus. They had to have their Bible open. Remember always that the nonviolent movement in Birmingham seeks justice and reconciliation. This is the center of nonviolent passive resistance, to seek justice and reconciliation. Continue. Walk and talk in the manner of love, for God is love. Pray daily to be used by God in order that all men might be free. Sacrifice personal wishes in order that all men might be free. Did you hear that? Let me say it again. Sacrifice personal wishes in order that all men might be free. I want to be in California right now on the beach somewhere, in Malibu somewhere. I ain't gonna front. But I'm here in New York City. Actually, I'm here in Jersey, opening a temple and trying to teach and feed our people. Sacrifice personal wishes. Observe with both friend and foe the ordinary rules of courtesy. Observe with your friends. Be courteous to one another, even to your enemies. Refrain from the violent fist, tongue, and heart. Refrain from the violence of fist, tongue, or heart. You know, the fist, physical violence, the tongue, like I just said, be careful saying stuff that you're going to regret later. Always have a tongue of peace when you're going up against the opposition as well. This is also a discipline. And also refrain from violence of the heart, revenge, resentment, hate, all of this type of stuff as well. Refrain from the violence of fist, tongue, or heart. Strive to be in good spiritual and bodily health. Spiritual and bodily health. Follow the directions of the movement and the captain on a demonstration. So you follow the principles, the directions of the movement and the captain. There's always a captain leading the movement. Keep us all on the same page. This is the character of a true hip-hop activist. You can modernize the words of this text, but the spirit of what is being said here is timeless and relevant to all hip-hop activists seeking justice in unjust situations. There it is. I just wanted to share that with you, that piece right there, because as we sit here in victory and in glory, we got to remember times where, we might not be sitting in this type of glory. The seasonal. We talked about that too in the seasons, within the seasons, about, those who praise you one day will tear you down the next. And those who are in power on one day can really not be in power the next day. And it's not that you can't hold on to something or have some sort of security in your victory, but you also have to know that worldly victories are always temporary. Turn your gospel to page 318 real quick. Turn your gospel to 318. Yeah, you know what? Let me go to 317, the page over, one page over. I'm gonna start at paragraph 17. I just want to just back this up with what I'm saying right now about the attitude. I want to end on this. We're reading from the Seasons, paragraph 17 on page 317. For true power is given when God upsets the normal order of human civilization, causing shifts in public demand, which causes a redistribution or reallocation of worldly wealth and influence. Everyone eventually gets an opportunity to govern their world. That's where we are right now. The question is, what are you prepared for? How shall you govern? Even the sunny days are temporary. With a knowledge of life's seasons, we know that it is always some unexpected turn of events that changes everything and opens doors that did not even exist before. Therefore, stay true to your purpose in life. Perform patience. No matter how humble or grand, be true to your life's purpose and envy not the achievement of others. For the material world is truly temporary. Therefore, do not become aggravated, angry, worried, or disappointed with those who appear to be in worldly power today. For in a minute they shall be in power no more, and the effects of their temporary power and prestige shall also fade away. We have seen this too many times. Not that we wish harm or failure upon anyone. Such is not the character of an attuned hip-hopper. However, it is a fact that the world and worldly circumstances are indeed temporary. For those who chase after the pleasures, powers, and items of the world, chase after things that are temporary in their very existence. Be still, be committed to your life purpose, and perform patience. It is inevitable that your day will come again. Stay focused. Look at this. For in the reality of the material world, everything is deteriorating. Every material thing, every physical structure requires maintenance for its continued existence in the material world. Nothing physical is permanent. And likewise, every person that holds worldly power today will not hold such power tomorrow. That includes us. And those who have not worldly power today shall indeed have an abundance of such tomorrow. That includes us. For this is the way of the world. Be prepared when it is your turn to govern. Treat all people with respect when you are in power, and they shall remember you and your children. There it is. And this is where we are right now. This is where we are right now. And that's why I read this and document this moment with us right now, that yes, we are in a sunny time, but we're preparing for the rainy and stormy days to come. It's literally summertime, but we know this is about to fill up with snow and ice and rain. And what are we doing here at the Temple of Hip Hop? What is the temple doing for Christmas? What is the temple doing for Thanksgiving? What is the temple doing for Jam Master Jay's death day, which is just before Easter on the 31st? Halloween, not Easter, Halloween, on October 31st. Jam Master Jay is October 30th. He passes October 31st, Halloween. Do we do something for Halloween? We're not dressing up like the devil around here, but can we dress up like Biggie or Craig Mack or Redman or whoever and have our own kind of Halloween costume situation? Are we gonna throw a jam? We're gonna throw a party? I like to bring Dana Dane through, actually. Yeah, Dana Dane comes through. Nightmares of the night. Nightmares. I might need to see Dana Dane here on Halloween. But nonetheless, what are we doing? What are we doing? And so I thank you all for listening to us this week, another week of the temple. What can I say? We're moving forward and we're rising. We're moving forward and we're rising. Those that want to help us out, become a member of the Temple of Hip Hop. It's only $100 a month, $25 a week, $1,200 for the year. It's a simple thing, but it helps us to maintain all of this as well. And you're helping the young people in the neighborhood, because that's who's really benefiting from all of this. Young people who didn't have the opportunities, young people who what I'm trying to say is when we were coming up, we didn't have a Temple of Hip Hop or some elder or mentor willing to guide you through your DJ and MC and graffiti art breaking process. That's what the Temple of Hip Hop is. Young people are taking full advantage of it right now, and you should too. We're open, we're ready to rock. September is when the courses are really gonna go down. And we are looking for teachers as well. I mentioned that earlier. We are looking for teachers, breaking teachers, MC teachers. We got the best already here. But of course, some of our dudes are old dudes as well. Shout out to Crazy Legs, Wiggles, Pop Master Fables. These are okay, let's keep it real. No, there's young people that are coming up that are like Tata with Big Daddy Kane. Shout out to you, Tata. He's breaking parties every night with Kane. Shout out to the New Breeze team. J-Day, Nice, Lizard, they brought up a New Breeze team out there as well. These are all the breakers that are coming through, not just to teach, but to also be part of the situation. It's a networking situation as well. We do live touring as well. So you know when you learn your element, there's always some mic to grab in front of something for real. There's always some breaking. There's always a need for graffiti art. Always a need for a DJ and a beatboxer. Always. So like I said, we have job placement here as well. Real money going down too. Paid for your services. Real entrepreneurship's going down. So I thank everyone again for listening to the Temple of Hip Hop. I'm going to transform now into KRS and enjoy the rest of our barbecue, take some photos with everybody and just chill. Thank you for listening. Temple of Hip Hop, y'all. We have seen many different celebrations and acknowledgments of hip-hop's 50th year, but in truth, there is only one official celebration for hip-hop's 50th year, and it's at the birthplace of hip-hop itself, 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. If you truly love hip-hop, it's time to come home. On August 12, 2023, join us for the Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival. On August 12, 2023, we will close down Sedgwick Avenue and set up the ultimate hip-hop stage right in front of 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. This is where it's all going down. Real MCs, real DJs, real B-boys and B-girls, real graffiti writers, and real beatboxers. This is the place to be. The Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival is only getting bigger. Yo, what up, y'all? It's the Blastmaster KRS-ONE, and I'm here at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. This is the birthplace of hip-hop, y'all. And what we're trying to do is preserve this space. For the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, we're looking to raise $350,000 to preserve and restore the birthplace of hip-hop. We need your assistance. First, we are putting an exhibit into the 1520 Sedgwick Avenue Community Center. The 1520 Community Center in the Bronx is technically known as the birthplace of hip-hop. This is where cool DJ Herc first brought his equipment out and started playing the musical breaks of certain funk and soul records. The rest is history. For hip-hop's 50th anniversary, we want to preserve this place, preserve it as a historical landmark, and we want to invite you to be part of that legacy. We are launching an Indiegogo campaign to raise $350,000 to put an exhibit into the 1520 Sedgwick Avenue Community Center. Along with art, this exhibit will also have an educational component, and we plan on making it accessible to people all around the world through a virtual experience. Also, the money raised in our Indiegogo will go to the restoration of this historic building itself. Now, I'm doing this on Indiegogo. Indiegogo, if you don't know, is a place where you can donate toward causes and projects and so on. Those that donate to the project or invest in the idea, they get perks that you can't get nowhere else. Gifts and little opportunities that you can't get nowhere else. Now, you know we are authentic hip hop over here. So the gifts we have for you, I can't give them all away here. You got to click below so you can be the first to know what we're offering. Again, we are preserving 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx, the community center itself, as well as the restoration of the building. We're looking to raise $350,000 with your help to do this. You don't want to miss out on this. So become a part of hip-hop's real legacy by preserving its past for future generations. I thank you for your support. August 12th, 2023, make sure you're in front of 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. Real MCs, breakers, DJs, graffiti writers. Shout out to the Tax crew. We're going to be doing everything that is involved with hip hop right there.
The price of admission is free.
And let us say that one more time. Free. Make sure you there, hip hop.